Now, with signing with Mative Records, how'd that come about?
Excuse me. I just kind of got really lucky. It's an interesting story in that I got an email from Megan, and he had heard a couple tracks, and he had just really liked them, and I got an email asking if I had any more, and he wanted to hear them. And I had the record pretty much done at the time. It wasn't mixed, and I had a couple other things to add, but it was pretty much done. So I'm like, yeah, man. I sent him the rest. And then he called me, or he's like, yeah, do you want to talk sometime? And he called me, and then he's like, yeah, I've been listening to it a lot, and I really, really like it. And he's like, do you mind if I send it to Arts and Crafts? And I was just like, hell no, man. Like, and that's kind of sort of how it happened. And then he spoke with Arts and Crafts, and well, I remember him saying, he's like, man, if I wasn't so busy, he's like, I would put this record out myself. He's like, I've always kind of wanted to do that, and he's like, but I'm so busy. And then he contacted me again, and he's like, fuck it. He's like, I think I want to put it out. And he had a meeting with Arts and Crafts again, and started the label in conjunction with them. And then, yeah, it just kind of happened. So honestly, just, I just got really lucky, I guess. I don't know. It's funny because, yeah, there was just something he heard about it, and something that really struck him, and which is hugely flattering. And I'm just really lucky that somehow all got aligned, however it did.
Nice. Yeah, because I noticed the mood changes of what I would call in both your albums seem to blend with each other, which is also going to work when you go out on your tour dates with them. And starting on the February 18th.
Yeah. Well, and it makes more sense to me now, having heard Mangan's record. And now, I mean, I know, Dan fairly well now. We talk all the time, and he's my manager and everything. At the time, I did know Dan because we'd been on a label years ago together, my old band Hot Little Rocket, which is this kind of punk band I played in. And when Dan was first getting started out, and we played a couple shows together, and so I knew him from then, but not really very well. Like, I'd run into him maybe once a year or something like that. And now I know Dan really well, but at the time when this was all happening, I hadn't heard his new record, and I thought, I also was like, I'm like, wow, this is so strange, because what I knew of Dan's music was, this, he was like, the ambassador of Canadian indie folk, he was like the quintessential kind of character of that sound. And I was like, wow, this is kind of weird that he's, really feeling this vibe, and he got all the references that I was kind of, going for, and like influences and stuff. And then he sent me a copy of the early mixes of his record last year, and I was like, whoa, this is, because it's such a departure from the stuff he was doing before. And then everything kind of made a little more sense at that point. And yeah, I think, like vibe-wise, what he's doing now is just, real change. But it's great. It's a great record that you did. I'm proud of him.
Nice. Now, going back to your references that you make in your music, Are you doing that on purpose to see if people will pick it up live on the record or in the audience? Or is that just something with your writing that just happens?
Like in which sense? Like in terms of like influences,
lyrically,
or
just the lyrically wise. Because I've noticed a lot of bands, especially within your genres, are really going for reference point, and I was always interested if it's something that you guys are doing on purpose or if it's just becomes part of your music.
No. When I write, it's very uncalculated, that process. For me, I tend to write on a whim. Like, I get inspired and it just kind of comes out. As ridiculous as that sounds, but so no, it's the lyrics. It's all really, really personal. I mean, I write very, very personally, but it's also very abstract. So oftentimes it's not necessarily. I feel like, funnily enough, it's like all the references I make are they're very personal references, written in abstract ways. So it's like I don't even know what comes across or how things come across. But in a weird way, I find that that's kind of like what music is to me. It's expressing things in non-linear, and indirect ways, or in another way, trying to actually put it strangely, oppositely, it's trying to evoke feelings, ideas, emotions, etc., in a very direct way that's bypassing the linguistic kind of paradigms of day-to-day speech or whatever. Like, I think it's just like trying to convey something that it's a process of trying to convey something that you can't convey just through spoken words, And I think that's the creative artistic process. And I mean, I assume that that's, what it is for most people. So I think I'm writing, it's like I write very personally, but it's all kind of, the sentiment is being carried through the melody, the lyrics, all of it simultaneously together in a way that just normal speech wouldn't do,
Oh,
so sorry, that's such a long-winded, answer to your question.
Oh, no, man, that's perfect, because you're breaking it down and explaining the entire process of how you're combining the entire sound of the album, your entire writing process.
Yeah.
Now, have you ever had to veto a song due to the personal references that you've made or the emotions that have gone into a song that you don't feels right for release, and you just kind of kept it private for yourself?
Yeah, definitely. I've lately, actually, there's a song I'm not playing currently that I wrote. It's not recorded. It's not on this record, but I wrote about Jam Master Jay, the DJ from Run DMC, and he was murdered in 2002 in Queens.
Yeah, he was in the wrong alleyway at that time.
Sorry, what's that?
Well, wasn't he in an alleyway, and that's where they got him?
Yeah, it was like it was in his studio, but It happened. Yeah, they ran out into the alleyway after. And anyway, lately it just seemed it didn't seem particularly appropriate. Like I don't feel right playing it right now in light of just like the Ferguson situation and all these situations of young black men and women being kind of like killed by particularly white police officers, in the United States right now. It feels weird to be, first of all, singing this song and it feels not that a song was written about anything to do with that, and it wasn't likely a police officer or even a white person that was involved in the murder, which also made it feel, awkward and insensitive to possibly be playing that in light of these events. To be, directing the attention sort of away from this other scenario that is, kind of happening. So that would be one situation that's more just trying to be socially like aware and responsible. I mean, I do want to play that song again because it's I wrote it from a place of when I was a kid. I was a huge fan of Run DMC. So there's a really that situation just was very, heartbreaking to me in a very personal way. And it was more documentation of a situation that happened involving someone that I really admire. But so I'll play that, maybe again later on. But right now it seems a little weird. And then in terms of personal stuff, for sure, I have a lot of songs that are just too, that just, you don't necessarily want to share everything with everybody all the time.
Especially a room full of strangers every night.
Sorry, what's that?
Especially a room full of strangers almost every night too.
Yeah, and that's a lot of the time that's it too, right? It's like, sometimes a particular room you feel more comfortable with the vibe of a room in a certain moment than on another night, and that can really affect what you feel like saying at that point in time too,
Yeah. Now, you just released your first single, Beginning of the End, and the video 3 days ago.
Yeah.
Now, can you kind of talk about the video? Because the ending is where you lost me on that one.
Yeah. So, essentially, well, what's going on in the video is it's like these, the kids trashing this house. And it's this very playful situation of these kids that are obviously unsupervised and trashing this house. And then at the end, the giant shift in mood is that you realize that the reason why they're unsupervised and that they're trashing the house is because they've killed the parents, or the parent has somehow been killed. I think it's supposed to allude to the fact that they themselves had done it in this kind of weird, like, sociopathically playful kind of way. I mean, I didn't write the idea. The director, Mike Peterson, wrote it, but it's a really dark contrast for sure as that part kind of is revealed at the end. It's like this kind of really dark twist.
Yeah, especially when the kids take the guy down the stairs, ride him down the stairs.
Ride him down, yeah. Yeah, but I was very happy. I was very happy with the way that it came out. Like when he first told me the idea, I thought it was going to be. I worried that it would maybe be too dark, but I really liked the way that it was, the way that they treated it in the editing, and. Yeah, I thought they did a really good job. I mean, I'm not Like Mike, I've known for a long time, the director. I've seen a lot of his work, and it's always really, really good. But they did it. I mean, they worked fast. I contacted him and essentially was like, Mike, I need a video, and I need it fast. And I sent him the song. He asked me a couple questions. They worked on it, and it was done, edited and done. Like, really efficient, looks great. Obviously, a lot of thought went into it, and I was pretty happy with just the way in which those guys did it. Like, I think I'm really happy with it. So that's cool.
Nice. Now you also did a lot of the recording at your house too, and like a lot of the editing. What brought on this decision to do it this way?
First of all, the guy that recorded it, his name is Brad Hawkins, and he records a lot of live stuff in town, and he does a lot of, we have a really cool underground live experimental improv scene in Calgary, like improvised music. And it's a lot of like, jazz players and like really amazing, talented musicians. And it's put on by a group called Bug Incision. And Brad records a ton of these experimental improv shows. So he'll go to the venues and record these. He also performs in that scene as well. But as a result of this, he's got a great portable setup. For me, I really like the idea of recording in informal settings. There's something about studios that, I mean, I love being in the studio too, don't get me wrong, but there's something about it it can be high stress, you're on the clock. It's this sort of sterile, lifeless environment that's, it's just a different experience. And I mean, it's a great experience. I actually really love being in the studio, but for certain things. And for this record, it just, for myself in general, my creative process and just like kind of recording process really has often been most natural in less formal settings. But what that in the past has meant for me is that I've usually done it myself, and I don't really have a strong skill set in the sound engineering department. So I got really lucky in that Brad was able to offer the best of both worlds in that he has really good, gear and engineering know-how, but he's also got this, he's like portable. So we did it in my living room. A lot of it's live. Like all the guitar and voice tracks were done simultaneously. So that's just live tracks. We didn't punch in any of the vocals. We didn't do any overdubs of the lead vocals. So it's like that is literally the record is built around live performances of me just playing my guitar and singing in the living room. So essentially, it's a pretty accurate representation of my live playing. And then, I mean, granted, we do a few takes and take the best take. But so we took that would be the bed tracks, and then kind of constructed the arrangements around that. So some of that I did on my own. So I would do like, some backup vocals or things like that just on my own. And then Brad and I went to some different weird places, like in this like city of Calgary crazy warehouse, and we did some of the louder guitar tracks and drum tracks and stuff there, and then we just kind of move around and find portable, cool spaces and record there. And it was a really nice experience. Like, just super comfortable, and Brad's really patient, chill guy, and I love just the sounds that he got. And it's a really, it's a good high fidelity recording, but without sounding, overproduced and sterile. And that was exactly what I was kind of hoping for. So I'm really grateful that he helped me out with this.
Yeah, that's the one thing for sure I picked off the album was you can tell that it's not done in the super high club pricey studio, and that it's pretty much a homegrown effort, which gives your songs that extra feel of like a down to earth recording, and it goes back into the mood of your songs as well. That everything blends together, and you're not having just what seems to be like a soulless performance that's recorded in a studio.
Yeah. No, that's great. I'm really glad to hear that it comes across that way.
Yeah, it was perfect. Like when I listened to it, I was like, whoa. And then as you read the different interviews you've done so far and different publications that have reviewed the album, it seems only a few. I don't know if a few people are picking it up or not. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, right on, man. That's great. What's really nice is I appreciate, it's like talking to you, and I had another interview recently, and it's really cool that I don't know, I've had interviews in the past where it's like I'm talking to people and they haven't really even listened to the album, and it's like, it's really great to have this conversation, and you're actually like are picking up these things and have really done your homework, and I really appreciate that.
Oh, nice, thank you.
Thank you.
I think that's where having the site as a hobby comes to play, rather than I'm trying to make $1 off it. Like, I'm not being urged to do it. I'm just doing it on my own as well. So
yeah, right on, man.
Now, do you have any expectations for the album's success, or was it more or less? Well, even then, just to get the attention of Dan Manigan's pretty impressive too.
Yeah, I think everyone involved with the record has pretty realistic expectations. Like, I know talking to Manigan, talking to Arts and Crafts, like, no one's expecting this to be like, no one at Arts and Crafts is like, oh, Astral Swans is going to be another Feist, or, even another, like, Timber Timbre or whatever. Like, it's, I think, and Mangan's, same thing, he's not, his motivations for doing it have more to do with the fact that he really liked the record, and, I don't know. It's really nice. Like, there's no pressure to try to, like, market this in some weird commercial way. Obviously, if that was, what they were going for, this wouldn't be their first choice. This kind of weird album, and that's really nice. I feel that Megan's just completely been supportive of the creative side, and has kind of just given me full artistic reign with it, and it's just like, yeah, let's get it out, and hopefully the people that will get it will get a chance to hear it, and that's really cool, because everyone's been really encouraging, and there isn't any pressure for me to be anybody but who I am, and that's great, because you always hear horror stories about people with record label sort of situations. So, yeah, we're all, to answer the question, yeah, I guess we're all pretty realistic about it. I think it'll, I'm hoping that the niche market that it may appeal to, and I don't even want to say market because that has so many, again, like this kind of money sort of tones. But I just hope that the few people that might kind of get something from it and might feel something from the record are able to hear it. That's, to me, success. And I just want to be able to tour as much as I can and just have more creative sustainability over time. Like, I just want to keep being able to keep putting out records at whatever capacity in a small, kind of humble way.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I could definitely see Winnipeg or Toronto being a stronghold for your sound right now.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear, yeah. Hopefully.
Now, while working on the 24th, where could people pick up the album?
So it's going to be digitally available through all the kind of mainstays, so iTunes and I imagine Amazon and all that. I don't know which stores will be carrying it. I think I'm hoping that a fair amount of independent stores will be able to get it in. It'll be available online for sure through the Arts and Crafts website or through the Matic Records website. And it will be available at shows. So, if anyone in your part of the world is able to come out to the Kingston show, it'll definitely be available there. But yeah, I'm hoping. I think they're going to try and get it into a bunch of because we're going to have vinyl. We're not even pressing CDs. We're just doing vinyl and digital. And I think the vinyl will be available in stores throughout Canada for sure.
Oh crap! That means my format's getting disappeared now. It's starting to go out. I'm CD.
Are you a CD guy?
I'm a CD guy.
Well, for you, I will burn one specifically.
All right. It's something about vinyl.
Are you able to come out to the Kingston show?
Oh yeah, I should be around as long as work doesn't send me out of town. I should be there.
Cool. Well, try and drop me a line, and I'll try and hook you up with guest lists for sure.
Okay, perfect. Okay, man. Well, thanks for your time. That's much appreciated.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Thank you.